afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Brian Sebastian's Movie Reviews and More. Today is a very special day because we almost have a Zoom party that you'll be able to be involved with. The three people on the show today have represented what has come to my life as known as home. When I met them, I was very nervous. It was my first time in Los Angeles. And the moment I sat in the room alone with Eileen, Billy Hess, and Mark De'Alwis, I knew I was where I needed to be. All three of them have an amazing gift and innate talent to bring out the inner beauty and the inner spirit of those that they are able to capture. Mark De'Alwis with his design and artistic talents with his salon and fashion. Billy Hess with his photography, where you'll see most of the most iconic rock star photography is done by Billy. And of course, Eileen with her magic of the pen. She's a very gifted journalist and artist with a new book out that is top of the charts, waiting for Adam. Everyone, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome my American family, Eileen Shapiro, Mark De'Alwis, and Billy Hess.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
You know, I feel like I missed something not going to this Oscar party. I was supposed to go, and every time Eileen's clients and everybody's on, I missed something.
You did.
You did.
You have no idea.
That was a great party. Great party. It was a nice party. Very nice.
But Brian, when we were at the Oscar event, everybody was clamoring to get Mark De'Alwis and Eileen's photo, and finally I got to get a photo taken with Mark. And you know, you always want to hope that you can look good. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, Billy, but you took a photo and Mark goes, okay, and Billy's like, no. So then you did another one and it turned out. So when I talk about he sees the inner spirit, the first one maybe not, but the second one, it was good.
I don't like the picture doesn't have to look good, it's got to feel good. That's how I shoot. It's got to feel
Yeah,
good.
he can Photoshop it anyway.
Yeah, your rock star photos.
But those two good looking people, I don't have to Photoshop.
Sure, you can say something.
So, Mark, you're from Sri Lanka. How is it that you came to America? Because I was listening to a few of your interviews, and you actually took over, was it Vidal Sassoon's salon in Manhattan?
Actually, she was the owner. She actually was Vidal Sassoon's last assistant, who managed Sassoon, and it was her salon that I took over. And she was great. She was like a great mentor to me. It was my first job in New York when I moved here, and here I am 20 years later. And when she left, when she gave the salon to Mark, when she left, she gave us a book, all about our Sassoon book, and all the picture of these haircuts, remember? And she did all of them. And it was fantastic, right? And but he never gave the women credit, right? No, she never got credit for anything.
Mark, he styles many celebrities that we all know about. Sandra Bernhard, was it Connie Stevens?
Yes.
And they will fly Mark to them to get their hair done, so you know he's very good. Is there any particular memory of doing a person's hair that just was a fun, unique experience? Or a style?
Fun. Actually, they were all fun. Connie Stevens was great because the whole time I was hearing all these stories that what was and what went on, and it was really good. That was a really fun one. It was a great experience.
Billy and I have a fun one. Only we didn't do her hair, Mark did. Why don't you tell them about the Sandra Bernhard experience?
Oh my God! Yes. Normally when something's A-list, it's very hard to get other people into A-list, So we got to do Sarah Bernhard's hair, and then we couldn't get backstage.
We were left out in the cold while Mark went backstage.
They were like, "No, he could come. You can't." Hysterical. That's usually. And it was fun. It was fun too. After I was doing her hair and everything. So I was about to leave, and she comes to me and she's like, "Do you want to take a picture with me?" I'm like, "I guess so." That was funny.
Hey, talk about this. what is it like to do hair, makeup now, with you maybe wearing a mask or not wearing a mask in someone else's home or maybe in the stylist? And then also, what is it like to take those photos now? Because everything has changed. Do you take it with a mask now? Do you take one without a mask? How do you do all this stuff? Because what I didn't and what I did do, and people were going back and forth on what they wanted to do and what they didn't want to do.
No, it's actually very difficult doing. I had to do somebody's makeup Saturday, and I had to like do like partially wherever you could see, and then like she had to hold that powdered whatever stuff, and I had the lipstick take home and like do the rest because they had the mask off. So it's like very difficult to deal with. And if they're taking pictures, they could wear like the shield over their faces, they still can see the face, and
it's very hard.
Very hard.
It's very hard. I mean, for photographs, it's a little different.
Maybe you could,
you can wear a mask, and I'm looking, my eyes looking at the camera. It's a lot.
They're far away, 6 feet. Yeah.
Right. So it's not as hard as doing photograph, but we're limited. I only miss the excitement of shooting concerts and shooting celebrities, and even though we're like the worst persons, you ever see the movie Devil Wears Prada? We need that assistant because we'll go, who is that? I don't know.
True.
For instance, we're at the NAMM convention.
That's embarrassing.
LA, yeah. And I'm saying Eileen because we don't know anybody. And I guess that's why we get along with all the celebrities. We're not like celebrity struck or whatever you call it. Starstruck.
Fangirls, honey, fangirls.
Yeah.
We're not girls.
So we go back and then we go, no, he looks familiar. And the guy gets a hello. And then Scott Page, who knows everybody in the world, and they're like, oh, yeah, Christ, who? She goes, who's that? That's Stevie Wonder. So
we walked right into him.
I should have got the message when Eileen bumped into him and he went,
I'm like, who can't recognize Stevie
and
Wonder?
I love Stevie Wonder.
Hello.
And I love it, but you're not even thinking of it there. Everybody's
We
like,
literally, but I mean, we were standing there and he bumped right into me and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I walked away.
And
And
he goes,
Scott goes, that was Stevie Wonder.
That's bad,
oh,
guys.
I know. We are so bad. It's like we go to do Boy George, and I'm saying, who is that guy? This is backstage. After shooting his show, I said, who's this guy with the muted shorts and that funny looking shirt? He goes, Bill, it's Boy George.
It's funny. It's usually if I'm there, I'm like, you know who that is? You know who that is?
That's true.
Oh, hi, hi. It's like,
They're terrible.
and that's the first time one of our friends, Fred from the B-52, is the lead singer. First time I introduced him to Eileen, and he was having a bad day because this is his last tour. I think they did 125 cities. And you got to say hello to my friends. Oh, he goes, he's so nasty. I said, he's a great guy. You're backstage where you're not even backstage. You're in their dressing room, so they just think they could be themselves. But now
I hated him.
She hated him in the beginning.
It's
Now
not
they're
bad.
best of friends.
But now we're pretty good friends, actually.
But here's the other thing about that is some people, and I found that out with Idina Menzel, some people are in their mode before they go on. Some people are afterwards, and you don't know until you kind of go up. So when she was playing a private concert for us TV critics, there was only about maybe 30 of us because it was really private. The B-52s did the same thing for their 45th anniversary. And that's when I first ran into Fred. And I always admire them, but it's one of those things where sometimes you can't bother them. Sometimes they're having a bad day. Sometimes they don't want anybody in a dressing room, and you just never know. So I always sat there and said nothing. And I kind of just looked to see what they were doing. And they go, well, who are you? I'm Brian Sebastian. Okay, you could say you didn't do anything. And that's what I kind of learned at that point.
He was in the back. He was in the dressing room with Grace Jones, smoking pot naked. God bless him.
He wasn't exactly naked. He was almost naked. I was there too.
She was there too.
Yes, and I had to go shoot Madonna. And
No,
everybody
you saw Bette Midler that night, honey, not Madonna. We saw Madonna together.
Bette Midler.
Oh, was it Bette Midler?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was Bette Midler and Cyndi Lauper. We had to split up because Billy's son, Billy, loves Bette Midler. And I got them press passes to do that. But Mark and I wanted to see Grace Jones, and they were at the same time, they were like a couple of blocks away. but the events were at the same time. So I took Princess with me to the dressing room, and Billy took his son to see Bette Midler and Cyndi Lauper and Billy Porter.
Yeah,
But I still think we got the better of the deal, don't you, Mark?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and we went to see that month, right?
Yes, it was.
That was Pride.
Yeah.
It was World Pride.
You got to hear this story. Now, you know how tiny Eileen is, right? And she goes, see, we got to get close. I said, we can't move in front of all these
It was
people.
Madonna. We were supposed to see Madonna.
Right. So she grabs my hand, just follow me. And she's going, and all these people, these little persons going by and holding her hand. And I'm saying, this is
That was
Madonna.
the people.
I said, this is Madonna's aunt. Please let her through. Right?
And it opened up a path.
They were saying, sorry. And they were bumping into us. Madonna's aunt's here. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are you missing taking those iconic photos around the world now? What is that like? Because you've had enough of a break, but how long is your break going to go on for? And what do you do if you're still on an official photographer break?
Do some private photo shoots now. Even I turned some down before because, I live with some people live with us, family members live with us now. So, it was rough to have somebody in. But right now, I'm ready to go, but we're not going to have, there's not going to be any concerts the next year, So like if Eileen does some interviews, we may do a one-on-one like photo shoot and stuff like that. I think that's where we're heading. I think we got something scheduled in December. Right, I think Eileen or something.
We have something in December, November, and the 26th of September, maybe.
You don't even know.
I was going to tell you about it eventually. The thing with Billy is I don't really tell him till the last minute because Billy procrastinates and he thinks about it and thinks about it and thinks. So I just tell him like a day before, okay, we're going here. And he's like, what are you talking about? He follows.
Can't you just bring him to Fire Island? I can shoot him on the beach.
No. We actually, Billy might want to tell the experience with the OMTV rap because that was like our first huge event that we did together. Huge.
At the Barclays Center with every old school hip hop rap group. I loved it. It brought me back. I'm not telling you my age, but it brought me back. And we're at the Barclays Center. I can remember we first walked. Oh, they didn't have my press pass, number one.
Oh.
So I'm staying out there in this heat outside.
It was like 1,000 degrees.
I said, I'm going to go home. And then all of a sudden, we got you a pass. I had all access.
He had an all access pass and we didn't. All we had was a backstage pass. We can go into every green room and whatever, but we couldn't go to the stage. So Billy, out of all of us, gets an all access pass. And poor Dr. Dre, who's the star of Yo MT Rap, doesn't get one.
And he couldn't get on. And the show was starting with an entourage. He couldn't get on. I'm saying, he can have my pass. No, that's only for you. I'm like, oh my God. I thought there was going to be, that was fun. But anyhow, hallway, we went into, I would say, every dressing room of every star there. It was so much fun. And we went in the hallways filled with smoke. So you totally buzz as you're walking through the place, totally buzz. The Barclays Center, someone opened the door to smoke. It was probably the most, then we finally got every star. We went to the green rooms, shot every possible star from the hip hop days. Then we snuck out, so we're all done. Then we get called back to go back in because there was another person that they wanted us to take a picture of, another star. And when you go to the Barclays Center, even if you have a VIP all access pass, you can't go through the normal places up there. You got to go all the way around the back to this one press area, and it's like a mile walk.
It's a mile walk. We were there from like early afternoon, and it was like 12 o'clock at night, and we were like exhausted and stoned. Not our fault.
Right.
And tired, and we just wanted to go home. And we had to go all the way back. That was interesting. But we had fun. We stayed another hour or two.
Yeah, it was probably one of the funnest concerts I shot.
It was.
The fun.
See, and Sherry, this is
Mark,
okay. Sherry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Mark and Billy, is there any person out there that you hope to, when all this is over, that you're looking forward to perhaps styling and photographing? Is there one out there that is your hopeful get?
I know mine. I want to shoot for Eileen's new book that might come out, Waiting for Billy Idol. He's one of my favorite. And I've seen him a couple of times, but before I was shooting pictures. I would love to shoot him. He's a big Elvis fan like me. And I actually have a gift from him. I have an actual replica of Elvis's belt of the 70s that I'd like to give him. And I would definitely like to shoot him.
Billy used to be like a rockabilly person. Like I think he did some imitations of Elvis. Matter of fact, he has this one record that I thought it was Elvis.
Yeah, I did a record, and then I did Elvis, and then what's it? Southside Dukes. What's the name of that band?
Oh yeah.
So when I was like, I was doing Elvis 18, and he goes, "Oh, I went to this Casbah club, and this guy was doing, Billy Hess was doing. I'm listening to the radio early, and he shouldn't do that. He's wasting his time. He should sing his own music. He's got a great voice." I took it as such an insult at 18, because doing Elvis, but it was a real compliment. Did some rockabilly. I did a record, and then I had to decide music business or getting married, and I picked getting married. But I don't regret that. But that was way back.
What don't you regret? Getting married?
Yeah, I don't regret that. But I have a wonderful daughter. I have wonderful kids, and I'm very blessed. And I'm still blessed here with Mark. So I'm lucky. So, but anyway,
Honored, Bill, honored.
And that's probably why I like to shoot honored.
Honored.
That's one of his. One time I was at his desk and his client goes, "You should honor it." And that's your client goes, "Oh, I am." But I wouldn't say, "You don't live with him."
So we always make fun of Billy and tell him that he has to tell Mark every day that he's honored to be his boyfriend.
Billy, in my view, you're right there with Neil Preston and Annie Leibovitz when it comes to your iconic photos. You go back and look at the stuff that you shot, and it's still timeless. And I just don't think we have enough good photographers left in the world of like the stuff that you created. How do you change that?
It's very tough now. The problem is it's the strict. Years ago, there was a handful of good photographers that shoot concerts. Now there's a lot of amateurs, and it's very rough in the pits. If you're doing A-list people, you have to have a background to get in. But when you're doing like B-list or one stars, you get a lot of amateurs in there. And what they do is it actually ruining the businesses because they're getting their photos and they're shooting 100 photos and they're doing everything for free. Like Beyonce tried to do that. Like I think the girl you were talking about was trying to do Beyonce's show, and she was giving a contract where you have to turn all over your rights to the song, to your photograph. Yeah. But that's just like if you were a painter, you got to say it's theirs, So all the big photographers when she played didn't show up. All the good photographers. So she learned not to ever do that again. Because no photographer is going to give up your rights because you may not be able to use it in your contract, but 10 years or 5, you might want to put it in a coffee book, coffee table book, So you never want to give up your rights to anything. Like it's like Eileen writing something and not getting credit for what she wrote, So a lot of photographers just sell themselves out to do that, And some have stronger contracts than others, And people got to learn etiquette, like they don't. She'll tell you, I hate red carpets. I like red carpets if you got professional people with you. If you got, if you got Times, you got, Rolling Stone, different kind of. Everybody knows etiquette, You get some amateurs in there to bump in you with the hands are going up, they're going in your light. Everybody takes care of everybody down the line. you know, but you get some images that really becomes, it's like we call it the wolf den, you know. So I'm not really into red carpets. She sees me at them, I get mad. It's like
I don't do them that often either. I don't really love them. We
I don't like
love
them either.
But the thing is, we're lucky because normally, if someone's doing a concert, like the Struts, for example,
oh, I love those guys.
we got to interview them before they went on stage. We were in their dressing rooms, like playing with toilet paper, and you know, and hanging with them. And Billy got to take any kind of picture that he wanted. I mean, we could have all gotten naked; it would have been okay.
I
Real
love
close.
that.
See, and but those are iconic photos that people like to see, though.
The same with
And I was like with this, I can't wait for Sherry to come down because we're gonna all expose her in a different way, even though things have changed. It'll be fun because it'll be all new, fresh for us because we'll be able to live vicariously through her eyes, and that will be fun for all of us because it's a different way.
Right.
Not shooting Sherry, but
Yeah, we'd love to style her.
we that was our plan before, you know, everything hit,
Mhm.
you know, because she's very photogenic, beautiful. And there's part, we look at her photograph and there's so many different looks you can have. She's gorgeous. She's very camera friendly, you could just tell.
And everybody thinks she's beautiful. It's not like just us because we're her friends. Like everybody thinks she's beautiful.
Inside and out.
And she's got a
gorgeous.
personality, easy to
Fabulous.
work with, you know, and I can see her working on the camera. She knows how to work a camera. So it's like, it's less easy work for me when someone can work the camera, you know, like, you know, you have to try, you know, you got to have that connection, and the photographer's got to trust you, you know, like, like I've got a lot of pictures where I do after parties and people's birthday parties, but I would never put a photograph out, even though it would sell a lot of money, would never do that because I want people to, my reputation is if you're an artist, you're going to trust me. And I ain't going to put something out there to sell a photograph. This ain't TMZ, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always make sure that any artist I'm taking is seen in a good light. Because when you're in after parties and you're allowed to shoot pictures, you know, you can see a lot of things where it can make the person look bad or like a little off. I always think of their image. I always think of that, what they look. There's so many pictures that I would, if the person doesn't look good, I don't think looks good, I don't even show it to them. You know, so I have tons of stuff like that, but I want the artist to trust me. You know?
Well, we did, we had Billy photograph Adam Ant, of course. And Adam Ant has a very hard contract.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to approve everything, and then he wants to keep a couple for his own self. So, of course, I'm going to make Billy take pictures of Adam. I mean, I didn't care what the contract said. I didn't care if the contract said you have to go to Times Square naked. Really didn't matter. Billy was photographing Adam.
And
so
he only take 1 or 2. He took almost 7 of mine. So
yeah, he loved him. And then the next concert that we asked again, we had tickets, and Billy got more tickets, free tickets. They really liked him, and Adam doesn't really like anyone that much.
He has a good management team behind him. And
yeah.
When I shot him, he says, he gave me this. This is what George likes. This is what it is. Don't do this, don't do that. So when you're thinking of those different restrictions and trying to capture the moment when you're singing a song and getting that feeling outside, it was a little difficult. But at the end of the day, when I showed him backstage, he goes, "Oh, you nailed it." But it was work, you know, because
that was George. I was talking about Adam.
That was what?
That was Adam I was talking about. You're talking about George.
Same thing with Adam, too. Same thing with Adam.
You know, let me tell you something. Billy almost didn't get to photograph Boy George. Did you?
No, I was there to shoot B-52s, correct.
Yes, I was. He was there to shoot the B-52s. I was there to interview the Thompson twins because I had already interviewed them, and we were warned when we walked in with our passes, nobody shoots George. All right, now I'm sitting at the seat, and some guy comes over and he goes, "Where's your friend with the big camera?" And I point. He was all the way at the other end of the thing, I guess looking at the light, whatever he was looking at anyway. And he said, well, this is his manager. He said, this is his lucky day. George's photographer is not showing up, so you need to get him. I saw him turn white, totally white. The camera almost drops, and he has a big camera. I mean, his lens is bigger than most guys' penis. Okay, and I see everything going on, and he comes up and he walks up, and that's how we got to meet Boy George.
And then I meet then PK is like a big star in what is that reality show, Housewives. So he goes, I go to, do you know PK? I said no. No, I don't. He goes, okay. And I guess he liked that, I met you, I love you. No, I don't know who he is. You see that show? No, I don't watch that show. Which we got along great after that. And we shot it and he liked it. And I can't wait to shoot it again.
And I got it
a couple times to shoot him after that, but we didn't, our schedules were off, And he pays well. And he don't have to, I have to say that.
He did pay well. He did. And he paid both of us. I did his album bio and Billy did the pictures. I would have paid him.
But some people,
Boy George.
You shoot that that's why they can get him for free. You know what I'm saying? There's like a few, maybe 4 photographers in the world that wouldn't do that, but they usually, when you're a band, they usually hire one tour photographer to go along, for the whole show. And then you have to press, and they really check your work. They check what you're in. They actually look at your work, Well,
no, I kind of.
Nile Rodgers was another fun person that I shot. He was a nice guy. Nile Rodgers.
Oh, Niall was great.
Niall from Chic, yeah.
I love that guy. He is the most nicest person, and he knows how to work the camera too.
He took a picture of me holding up my article. It was great.
Eileen, do you have a favorite Billy Hess photo? My 2 favorites are the one that he did of you. I think it's a promotional one for your book. And then there's one of Mark in a red suit that's on his website.
That one.
Do you have a favorite Billy Hess photo?
Yeah, the ones I took of Billy.
Yes,
what you don't know is I'm Billy's
terrible in
person.
front of the camera. For some reason, when she shoots me, I look okay.
No, you're very handsome. I actually got a message from Ike Avelli before this interview, and he wanted me to tell you that he's waiting for a special shoot of Eileen, Mark, and himself in a cab.
Yes.
The cab story? You got to tell the cab story.
We got to jump on that one.
Go ahead.
I have kind of like a little treat. I don't know if Billy will do it, but he better. Billy has a son who I love more than life itself, and he really wants to be famous. And actually, he's a better interview than his dad. So could you get Billy, one of you, please? Sherry wants to meet him.
Hello?
Wait, hold on.
Who? Tell me who want me who?
Come on. Take a look.
Billy, it's
Yeah.
me, Billy.
Hi, Eileen Shapiro.
Looking.
Hi, Billy. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
Say
How
hello
you
to
doing?
Captain Brian.
Hi, gorgeous.
I told you he'd love you.
Aw, you're so handsome, Billy. I'm so glad that you were able to come see us.
Thank you. Thank
My name is Sherry.
let me have me in Eileen's show.
Yes. Yes.
And I love Billy. Billy's
Get out of
my
my life.
dad.
My life.
Bye, Billy.
Hey,
Billy,
Mark, you
Billy.
get the last question. Oh, go ahead, Eileen. Go ahead.
can you just tell them how many famous people you met?
Well,
Little Billy.
I met Cindy Lauper,
Papa.
Fran Drescher, Ben Miller, and
Fred.
Fred and
352.
and Rosie Donald.
Yeah.
And we'll
Wow. You're lucky.
Yeah. When we went to
We love Billy. We
That's
love
right.
Billy more than we love Billy.
Fran Dresser's his favorite person in the whole world. So we told the story about Billy, Eileen did, and got him to come see her in an event in the city. And he was so excited. And we went up, and we were going to meet her after the show, after the event.
We did meet after the event, and
So anyhow, in the show, when I walked up to say, this is Billy, oh, nice to meet you. I said, do me a favor. If you put another box set out, I'm going to kill you. That's my first words to her. She was hysterical. He watches every show over and over. I said, don't put another box set out, because then I have to watch all of them again.
Every night.
That's a fan.
I go upstairs. So outside, and she was talking all day. Now she talks like that. She was really hoarse. So he goes up, Fran, there's something wrong with your voice.
She was like horrified. She goes, my voice.
And she was hysterical. She's the most nicest person to Billy and Fred Schneider ever, you know. Very nice.
Hey, so we got about 2 minutes. Hey, Mark and Billy, please give your social media links for the audiences.
It's Mark De'Alwis Salon on Facebook and Instagram. Mine is billyhess.com if you want to see my photographs. Billy Hess Photos for Instagram. Billy Hess Photography for Facebook.
Mark, a quick question, real quick, because we got about a minute and a half. What do you see with the salons happening in New York? How can people help them?
In salons, New York right now, it's very difficult because we cannot do our regular appointments. We got to spread people out. Certain amount of stylists could work at a time. And also, to be quite frank, city's dead. Most of the offices are still closed. And when this happened in March, everybody went to their summer houses in Hamptons and the Long Island and all that, and never came back.
And people are scared.
People are scared to come back
To New York City, not from COVID.
Some of them are making
streets.
them their permanent residents right now, which is like scary. Everything in New York, including restaurants and salons, everything, is suffering. It's really tough.
And they're scared to go off the streets, to be honest with you.
But I say New Yorkers are awesome. They did a great job. Everybody wears a mask.
Safety-wise,
it's great. It's like the best. But still, can't blame anybody. You know, they're nervous to go in. Even though we do everything, we sanitize every chair, every sink, everything right after every person, and we use all disposable capes, and everybody wear masks and shields. But still, you know, it's a scary thing. Hopefully it'll be done soon.
And they have people too in New York City.
That's not good. So Eileen, we have to have a part 2 with this whenever we can hook it up. So
Okay.
Sherry, give your social media links. Eileen, give your social media links. We got 60 seconds.
Sherry Nelson, Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram, XOXO, Sherry XO.
Billy, what's mine?
Eileen
Billy.
Shapiro rocks. That's all your social media. That's her website. You can get to all her social media.
So with that, we got to thank everybody.
Brian, I hope you come to New York.
When we have to have you guys back on, and Eileen, obviously, because you guys got so many great stories to tell, especially out of New York, and audience members like that. And I don't get a chance to go to New York so often, so I'm looking at Sherry's face and I'm like laughing because it makes me miss going to New York. So I
You
get
need to come, Brian.
together.
You're
know?
a Connecticut boy. You need to come.
Yes.
So with
Yeah, fine, you should.
as everybody's going through New York, we have to say this: we have to give everybody from New York a smile because everybody needs it, because there's a lot of people suffering depression and anxiety. And with that, this is Brian's production, Movie Reviews and More, Women's Broadcast TV Network, which is now the worldwide TV network, and WomenOnTV.tv and IT247 out of Franklin, Tennessee. We will see you next week.